Hi everyone, welcome to our Year 3 English Lesson 20. So today our students will be writing their orientation paragraph for their imaginative narratives. For today's lesson, you're going to need all of your planning sheets that we did last week. So that was our character planning sheets, our setting planning sheets, our problem, and your mind map planning sheet, because they will help you when you are writing your paragraphs for this week. So I went ahead and I have written my paragraph. I'm going to read through it and I'm going to explain my thought process as I was writing it. So I've always started my stories with introducing at least one of my characters. So there once was a dog named Benji. I've told you who my character is, and now I'm going to go and use some of that descriptive language to help the reader form a picture in their head of what our dog called Benji looks like. So he was big and black and had floppy ears that were nice and soft. Benji loved laying in the sun in the green garden of the farmhouse. So there I have also introduced my setting. So I've got my character Benji, and then I've also got some words to describe Benji. Some noun groups coming into play there as well. So then I'm saying what Benji likes to do, which was one of his interesting facts that I had on my planner sheet. So Benji loved laying in the sun in the green garden of the farmhouse. I've got some more descriptive language there using a noun group, a green garden, not just a garden, but a green garden. You could add more describing words in front of that if you'd like to. And then of the farmhouse, which is our setting. So he also loved to chase things through the forest, which was also part of my setting there. I said it was a farmhouse just beside a forest. At times, Benji felt lonely because he never had any friends to play with. So I've mentioned there that he doesn't have any friends. I'm sort of setting the scene for my problem to come into place. And I'm also communicating that maybe this is about a story about Benji finding a friend. He did not know that just beyond the farmhouse gates was another animal feeling the same way. So you'll notice I haven't actually introduced Roger just yet. However, I've let my reader know that there is another character who will be coming into our story very shortly, and probably one that's going to play a big part in our story. So you don't always have to introduce both of your characters. You will, of course, need to at least introduce one of the main characters. The second one might come later on into the story. So when I start my next paragraph, we will very shortly see Roger come into it. But I've also introduced when it was happening, so just one day. So it could be in the present, it's happening now, or it's happened in the recent past. And then I've also made sure that I introduce the setting. So you need to make sure that you have all of these things in your orientation. Now, when I was writing, I also made sure that I had capital letters for the beginning of my sentences. I had full stops to show when I was at the end of a sentence. What else did I have? If I used a name, I made sure I had a capital for the name of my character. If I were to have said the big green garden, I would have the word big, then a comma, then the word green and garden. So I make sure that if I'm using multiple describing words without a connector, I use a comma to separate them. And at the end, because it's an exciting sort of little bit of a cliffhanger to want to get the reader to keep reading, he did not know that just beyond the farmhouse gates was another animal feeling the same way. Because that's an exciting sentence, I've included an exclamation mark. Okay, so today you are going to go ahead and write your orientation paragraph. You should not be going into your problem just yet, and obviously definitely not your solution just yet. I'd say, how many sentences does mine have? Mine has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentences in this orientation paragraph. So I suggest you probably aim to have at least 4 or 5. If you have more, you have more. But it is a paragraph, not just 1 or 2 sentences. All right, so now it's your turn. Go ahead, do your writing either on a piece of paper. If you've got lines, it's always good to practice your writing on your lines to make sure that you are correctly writing your head, body, and tail letters. You may also choose to do some of your entries and exits like we've been practicing with our handwriting at the moment. So go ahead, do your writing. Once you've finished, send it through to your teacher or save it to hand back into your teacher next week. We are looking forward to seeing all of these excellent stories when we get back to school.